Hi everyone, this is Mindy Gray, and I'm excited to share with you my updated research proposal, Asynchronous Use of Collaborative Digital Discussion Boards to Activate Prior Knowledge. This study was conducted during fall 2021 and revised spring 2022. For the fall practicum, I looked at Nearpod Collaborate board participation in an ABBA rotation. My hypothesis was based on social learning theory that an opportunity to hear from their peers on the Collaborate board would improve both students' perceived and demonstrated understanding. My original research was based primarily on three books: Mathematical Mindsets, Teaching Math with Google Apps, and Flip Your Classroom. Unfortunately, in conducting a further review, I realized that two of these books did not contain any references to scientific research. I then utilized the Yukon Library to see what related research was available. I searched PsycInfo and ERIC with the terms blended learning, remote learning, online learning, distance learning, asynchronous communication, discussion board, mathematical community, and flipped classroom. From the term blended learning, I found two articles that I read in depth, but there were so many others that I could have explored if conducting a full research review. Each of these articles also contained a wealth of further resources to explore utilizing the breadcrumb approach. I really struggled to come up with a researchable question based on my three technologies. I started out much too broadly. The hourglass image from the top hat text helped me significantly in understanding why I struggled to develop my question. I had to go through the narrowing process, and it turns out that's natural. My original big picture research question was, how can technology be used to create asynchronous, interactive content that mimics a socially constructed synchronous class session? However, I now believe that the research should be focused on how affordances provided by technology that are not found in a traditional classroom can improve student learning. As a result, my updated research question is, how does the asynchronous use of collaborative digital discussion boards to introduce a new lesson help students activate prior knowledge needed to access new material? Based on this question, my working hypothesis is because each student will be required to contribute and respond to their peers rather than lurk as they might in a synchronous class session, increased participation should lead to increased levels of proficiency of necessary readiness, skills, and concepts. Student collaboration with peers should also increase levels of proficiency of necessary readiness, skills, and concepts, and participation and collaboration are directly correlated with proficiency of necessary readiness, skills, and concepts. The related null hypothesis is there is no impact on levels of proficiency of necessary readiness, skills, and concepts. If student participation and collaboration increases, any increases in levels of proficiency should be explainable by chance. I believe the Solomon 4 design would be most effective in this study, which would require including a pretest for each round. I believe maintaining the repeated measures design is appropriate to this experiment rather than contrasting independent groups. The addition of a pretest would allow for more within subjects analysis. Quantitative data collection would remain much the same, collecting subjective measures of students' confidence, perception, and satisfaction through a Likert scale, and objective measures of students' readiness assessment scores. Most of the data I originally collected for the study was quantitative, but some of the most valuable information I received came from informal class chats at the start of each class as students worked on the readiness assessments, so I would like to formally collect that information, as well as the quality of Collaborate board posts. Accordingly, the new qualitative data needs to be formally analyzed. Word clouds would help identify themes in the Collaborate board posts, as well as in the live class chat during the readiness quizzes and in the wrap-up conversations. I tried to mitigate the novelty effect by creating a prototype Nearpod to introduce the tool. Moving forward, because I would extend the length of the study into multiple iterations, I don't believe the novelty effect would be significant over the course of the study. I do think the Hawthorne effect was more likely to be a factor, particularly in student survey responses. They were aware that we were utilizing Nearpod for research and that I hypothesized that the Collaborate board feature would be helpful. Moving forward, I would make students aware of the experiment, but not the hypothesis. By removing any issues of participation and iterating multiple times over the course of the year with one group of students through the Solomon 4 group design, I believe that the results of this updated study would provide a much more accurate representation of the research question. In light of what I have learned this semester, I think the biggest opportunities for improvement to my fall practicum study are the adjustment of the research question, the addition of a pretest via the Solomon 4 group design over a longer period of time, and the analysis of qualitative data. If I were to fully conduct this study again, this references list would be much longer based on a full literature review, but these references are the primary sources I used either to craft my theoretical and pedagogical foundations or to improve my understanding of research design. Thank you for your time of listening.